Alright, so this is going to be a quick video showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo Yoga 910-13 IKB. Alright, model name 80VF. Alright, we're going to be using a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, you want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that, put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got this going around in a rectangle, and we're just going to remove them all like that, okay? The customer wants me to hand them back their SSD right away because their son told me they're a little paranoid, so they want to make sure. Yeah, or not the mom's paranoid, but the son is paranoid and wants to make sure that I hand it back to them without messing with it. So I'm gonna put it in this little anti-static bag. We're gonna take this out. Actually, was that one from the other piece? Well, that's fine, we'll take it out and put it in there. Okay, so we'll get all these screws out. This bottom cover is relatively easy to remove. Okay, so once you get all these screws out, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm recording everything because it's a little bit difficult to see. And of course you want to make sure that you ground yourself, touch something metal, especially if you live in a drier area. Right now the weather's pretty dry and I keep getting shocked by stuff, so yeah, you want to make sure, alright, that you have the electricity being discharged into somewhere. Okay, now that we got all these screws out, what you do is you just go from the back here, you kind of just wiggle and pull up. Okay, the clip is somewhat strong here, so you might have to pull a little bit hard. Let's see if sometimes it helps to go from another side here. Okay, yeah, this clip is pretty strong. It's like right in the middle here. And I'm going from both sides here. Wow, that clip is really holding on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I just pulled mostly from the back, and here you can see the clip. That's what it looks like. Make sure your computer's off before taking out the SSD. We're going to switch over to a JIS 0. JIS. Alright, and we'll take that screw out. Alright, and there we go. I actually need a thumbnail here, so let me get this all lined up, and then we'll take a thumbnail, take the SSD out, and yeah, there you go. So, alright, again, make sure you're grounded. We're going to go ahead and open up this little baggie here. And then after I get the SSD out, I'm going to pause the video so I can hand this back to my customer. Oh, is this one long enough? Okay, it is. I cut it actually from the bottom here. Open it up. Okay. So take this out. And there we go. And we'll just drop it in here. Alright. Oh, this bag's slightly too short. So I might have to use like a bigger piece of something. I'm going to keep it in video just because the customer wants to see. So let me get one of these. I'll just use a giant screen anti-static bag because why not? Okay, so we got this. And we're going to dump this guy out and put it in this big bag here. Okay. And there we go. So yeah, pretty simple, straightforward to get the SSD out. This is a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD, and we're gonna be putting a new one in because it's having problems reading the OS. The customer wants to get their data, but they wanna, their son wants to do it because they're like, I know how to do it, so don't pay for that service. So there we go. All right, and I'm gonna go hand that to them. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So they wanted a 1 terabyte SSD, so we're gonna use that. Okay. I'm going to also show like quickly what the other inside components are. Problem is I'm going to have to stand to do this. So, okay. Alright, so the drive looks like that. Okay, and we're going to take this guy out. And I'm going to have to pause the video in a bit because people are messaging me, but let's go ahead and get this in. Okay, just like that, at an angle. Push it in, drop it down, and then we get the screw back in. So very simple, straightforward. Actually, I don't need to pause the video because it's pretty quick to do this. Also, if you're going to reinstall the operating system, the way you boot from your USB drive, there's this, where is it? This little button here. That's the one key recovery. It allows you to also select a temporary boot device, and you can boot that way. All right, you got this USB port, audio jack, and power button on a separate board here. Okay, also this speaker connects to it, and then you got this cable that goes to the motherboard. Okay, so it looks like there's a rubber thing on top. I'm not going to take it out. And then there's a flip latch mechanism. So on both sides they have this rubber piece. So this cable runs under here. Battery model, if you need it here, is right there. L15M4P23. Okay, you got a fan here with the cable running along and connecting up there. All right, what else we got? We got this cable running along up here. There's two of these. What is that? I don't know what that's for. Oh, those are the interesting. Wait, why are there two things? So, wireless antenna here and here. Okay, they run along and connect to the wireless card there. If you need that information, there's that. Another fan is here, plugs in right there. All right, then you got this board, another one right here, that the cable runs underneath the motherboard, or not the motherboard, but underneath the SSD and plugs in right there. That's for the two USB-C ports here, including the output charger one. Okay, and what else? Then the other speaker connects right there. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what these little extra connections are for. Then you have the LCD LVDS cable here. If you mess with this, make sure to disconnect the battery first. Battery connector is right here. And then press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds before messing with that. Alright, I do have a video showing how to remove this on another model. It's a silver one of this. I made that about a year ago or so. Alright, you got the keyboard connection here. Can't really see underneath, but I'm assuming this is keyboard backlight and this is the trackpad connector. I'm not going to pull out the battery because we're just doing the SSD upgrade. And yeah, that's about it. Again, I'm not too sure what these two connectors are for. Yeah, interesting. Because it's just going into the wireless antenna, so I don't know, and then it goes into the board. Maybe it has some other function, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. This thing isn't very dusty. I can try cleaning it a tiny bit, but looks pretty clean. All right. Yeah, it's not really dusty. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's get the bottom cover on, and we're gonna install, or the customer wanted me to try and install Windows 11, so I'll try that. The bottom cover does have a little dust here, so let me actually clean that. And yeah. All right, brushing it off to a trash can next to me. Okay. Interesting. Oh, and if you're wondering, the RAM isn't upgradable. It's underneath this cover, and it has this thermal pad, it looks like, that goes right there. What does that go on to? Or maybe it's not a thermal. Oh, that's not a thermal pad. It just holds down the battery connector. This battery connector, it slides slightly back and also pulls up, so you kind of have to pull it up a little and slide it back. Usually I'll get underneath the battery, and I'll get one finger underneath and one finger on top, and then pull the connector out like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing back together. Okay, so there's the thumbnail. Just line everything up. Push the middle to clip it in. Very simple and straightforward. And then we just put back all the T5 Torx 5 screws. And that's all there is to it. So yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, again, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living, and that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I get all these screws back in. I will also do the Windows boot, and then we will see, I'll show you how it works when you push that little button. Okay, so let's get all these screws back in, and then we will start that process. I'll kind of just show the starting of the process. Creating the Windows 11 boot drive or Windows 10 boot drive, that's a separate video I have that I kind of like talked about. But basically Microsoft offers those to, as long as you have a USB with enough storage, they have a tool that helps you create the bootable drive. Almost there, last one. And we can possibly use the T5 to start the boot thing. Alright, let me get the Windows 11 boot drive here. Okay, so this one, and I think this one is my Windows 11 boot drive. Let's go ahead and see. Alright, so we'll put the USB in there. Open up the computer. I didn't see a separate BIOS battery, so if you're wondering, I'm not sure if there's one underneath the motherboard. Anyways, we're going to push this little button here. Okay, and it should it should start up. It didn't start up, so maybe. Okay, let's try pushing this one. Yeah, I think this one, it needs to detect the charger before it turns back on. So let's go ahead and plug in. I don't have the Lenovo charger. I don't know if the customer forgot to leave it with me. So let's try plugging in the MacBook One. There you go. The light just flashed. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and try pushing that button. And there you go. It's lighting up now. Keyboard's lighting up. And there you go. It's starting. We can go to the boot menu. And now I'm going to boot from my USB. And you can see if it does the weird circle thing here, then that's the correct Windows 11 USB. And then you just go through the Windows 11 installation process. I also do have a way to boot or to create a local user, so you don't have to log in using an email. If you want to learn how to do that, I have a video showing that as well. All right. Anyways, let's see. I don't know why, but the Windows 11 install boot always takes a long time. Yep, that's Windows 11. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Thanks for watching, and oh, there you go. I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.